Wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Riddle me this, dynamic dullheads.
It is Saturday evening, and it is time to put the top half to the bottom half of this. Everything else that needs to be done, particularly to the back lab, I can do with the roof on. But I'm going to do one more test fitting to make sure everything fits the way it's supposed to go. And then it's time to get out every clamp I own. And some 5-minute epoxy, not the 1-minute epoxy, but I need something that cures a little slower because I don't want the epoxy to set up before I've had a chance to put all the clamps in place. What I'm going to do is put a bunch of epoxy here and on both sides there and around the front, kind of towards the inside. And then I'll go around the perimeter with super glue to pull it together. And if I can get enough of that done right tonight, I may be able to put the first coat of the spot putty in the resulting underneath seam. So let's see, cross your fingers and your toes and your eyes if you have to, but let's see if we can get this thing in. Greetings from Clamp City. We have clamps for every clamping need. This is going together actually pretty darn good. I'm going to let this set for a few hours before I touch it again. But I got all of the joints to come together. That was good, especially up around the front, delicate. And that's really the story. I have to, and I recommend you do this as well. Don't glue your pilot down to your pilot's chair before you put the top in. You can always slip him in from the top later. In order to make everything fit, I had to remove the pilot and the ring, and now I've got to backfill those. Well, it's time to turn in on Saturday night, late, and got all the clamps off. Everything's set up beautifully. This front edge I'm particularly happy with. Don't even see any gaps on that, but what I did is I just took, for extra precaution, and just put some putty over that joint, because even when you put it together nice, you still get a bit of a gap between the two parts. So that's going to dry all night, and I'll come in tomorrow at some point, I guess, and sand it down. It's Sunday and work continues. Even though I am hosting a cookout this afternoon, I still need to get some work done on this today. But a good place to leave it will be to put a first coat of the white primer back over this Bondo spot putty, and then let that dry up. It's nice, and in a way, it's actually nice that I have something else to distract me, to keep me from obsessing over this and probably ruining it. So a quick coat of the white primer is next. Well, it is Monday and Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day to you out there. Time to do the last bit of trying to hold the camera still. I got some fingers wagging at me last time for having the shaky cam. But we are on the last days here on the Proteus. You can see the beautifully clear windows and all the happy people inside. I got to protect these windows. I got to keep them clean so that the white finish that I put on the top, this is I've touched up the seam underneath and sprayed the final white underneath there, but I want to hit the top with one more clean coat of white to cover all of the blemishes and little bits of sanding that I had to do, a little bit of primer there over top. So to do that, and to do that with some level of safety, I'm going to use the yellow portion of my templates, and that basically is to cover these windows from any accidental overspray. I've already got the dome taped off. I've got a rag stuffed in the hole here. The door, I've got one mask on here. I need to put the other mask there. I've got the hatch in place. So one good coat of white on this, and I'll be able to do the surface details and the decals. But let's get these windows protected. I put too much work into them to let them get dirty now. Everything is masked and we are ready to put on a final top coat. One of two final top coats. Very, very light final top coats. You'll notice these masks aren't completely pressed down and all that because I don't really intend to blast the paint right at them. I'm very happy with what I've done on this primarily. I did a top coat on this a day or so ago with the final white top coat color, and I'm happy with the finish around the windows. It's merely around the sides that I need to make sure I hit with the top coat, and the accidental overspray is what I'm protecting these windows against. So let's take this outside and put a top coat on it. It is Monday evening and I'm putting down the final surface details. I've got the hatch on the underside already attached. This hatch is on, the snorkel is in. I have just cleaned off the tape that was on the dome with the bubble, and I'm cleaning it up with a little bit of Novus plastic polish. And then I will slip this ring over it and put some canopy glue down to hold that in place. Word to y'all who are building this, you might want to do the same. I had to sand this out a little bit so that it would sit down on there properly. It didn't want to, sit down on the base of the bubble very well. I think it was just the tolerance of the two types of plastic, but it sits down on there very nicely now. So, and I also painted the underside of it black as a light block, and I think it'll help channel the ring lights out a little bit better. But once that's done, I'll take the front window masks off and we'll get a good long look at it. I know it's not strictly Canon, but I wanted to paint the exhaust jets a different color just to kind of indicate that there's a different thing there instead of just a bunch of tapered white going at the back. That's it. Let me clean this bubble off. The liquid has dried, and now I just need to buff it up a little bit. And now it's become time to attach the Proteus to its new base and wire it in. So I need to splice the power jack to the end of that wire and then bury it into the base of the base. And that needs to set up overnight, so I need to do that now. And then I'll be free to put the foot pads and the decals on, and I've got to paint in the little footstep holes there, but that shouldn't be too tough. That's all stuff I can do from the top. The bottom of the ship I'm going to be losing access to once it's nailed down on the base. I'm going to be losing access to it, so really all you're going to see is the hatch here. Sorry, the hatch here opening and closing a bit. And you'll be able to see up under it, but it's not designed to be picked up and looked at and oohed and awed from all the angles. So I'm going to go ahead and get this base done now. I should take a little bit of epoxy, put it on the two portions of the base that the ship sits on, and firmly attach that while that can be happening while the soldering iron is heating up. And this is where we're going to leave it at the end of Monday evening. Only two more steps to do, really. The decals and painting the footholds. And I can easily do those tomorrow. I don't want to rush and do them tonight. I'm getting a bit punchy, and I've got so many other things done that I'm actually ahead of the game, I think. So what we're going to do is let this gestate and ruminate and heal up overnight, and I've got a couple of finishing touches on the base to do, and like I say, it's 95% done. No sense rushing the other 5%. Tomorrow is going to take care of itself, because if what comes in the mail tomorrow, it's been tracked and supposed to be here. This is what I've been waiting for over a week now. I may have time to get it done in time for Wonderfest, so that's going to take 120% of my attention. So from the crew of the Proteus, we're here to say good night for now. Well, good morning. It is Tuesday, and we are down to the final details. Putting the decals on the Proteus, and that's all that needs to be done. It's sitting pretty on its base. Oh, there were some tense moments last night, ladies and gentlemen. I got to tell you, I plugged the transformer in, plugged it into the back of the base, and nothing. No lights, nada. I thought every ugly thought you could think of why there was no lights. Turns out the transformer had gone bad. I think by the time I had added all the lights together, it just didn't have enough milliamps to power it. So I got a beefier transformer, and that seems to have done the trick. But here is the Proteus as it sits on its pretty base. I've got the foot pads on, I've got the indents painted, all the surface details are done except for the last thing, which is the decals. And I am going to do those this morning while I am waiting for the mail, because once the mail comes, and I know I've been harping on this for a while, but there's a kit in the mail. When it comes, if it comes today, I am going to do a speed build on it, and I've got all the paints laid out there for it, if you can guess by those colors what it is. But by the magic of magnetism, we remove the back, and we can see all the glory and beauty that is the back cabin, with all the little details that I've put in there. Put some papers and stuff on the desk to make it look a little more lived in. All of the consoles are lit up, and again and people who say you can't see, it's not worth doing because you can't see the detail in there. There was one comment, I'm blanking on the name right now, I'm sorry sir, but saying it wasn't worth putting the etch in because you don't see it. Well, my friend, you do see it. It is worth it. It adds a tremendous amount of detail to it to use the photo etch. This is not a case like the Seaview or like the Jupiter 2, where a lot of the detail is only available through one tiny window at the beginning, or at the front. This detail you do see quite a lot of. Now, yes, true to say, I opened that up, but there isn't a lot of photo etch back there. Now, I have, depending on the time that's left, I have time to put some little tiny more details in there if I want to, but that's going to be gravy if I can do it. But let's get these decals on, and then we will be ready to break a champagne bottle over it. Okay, what I've been promised has finally arrived. It is the Riddler kit. I'm sure you have guessed it by now. It is 5 minutes of noon, and it is time to start the clock to see how fast I can get this guy built and painted. Okay, I've got all the parts off the trees. I have to clean them up yet, and I'm deciding which version of the kit I want to build. Like other Moebius kits in the Batman line, you have an embarrassment of riches when it comes to deciding which pose you want to use. They offer 3 poses here. Hat with nothing in either hand, hat on, mask on, cane, mask on, cane and hat, no mask and nothing in the hands. And I think what I want to do is maybe the one that they're not showing, which is no mask, hat in one hand, but cane in nothing in the other hand. Let's see how that looks. Well, it's 1 o'clock and the table is empty because the parts that I've got put together are outside drying from the first coat of primer. And I've decided what pose I am going to settle on, and that is going to be a variation of this one. It's going to be with the cane, left hand open, right hand cane, with hat, but without mask. I guess it's this one here, this pose, because the hatless head has the mask, the back of the band of the mask in, and to sculpt that out will take too much time. So I'm going to do a swap out head that is going to be the head with the mask on, with no hat. So I'll be able to swap those two out. But actually, I haven't really decided whether or not I'm going to have the hand with the cane in it, or the open head. I think what I'll do is a variation of what I did with Robin, and that is to put magnets in the various parts. So if I put a magnet in the wrist of this right wrist, then I can swap out the hand with the cane or the hand without the cane. Same type of deal. I'm going to swap out. I'll put a magnet in to swap out which head I'm going to use. So while things are drying, I'm going to turn my attention to the question marks. And the question marks I am not going to be using the decals for. What I'm going to do is make a painting template for those, so that you can paint them any color you want. Some people seem to think that they were not black; they were in fact a deep green, and I can see that. I can appreciate that. But at some point, a deep green is much like a navy blue in that it turns black. So if you want to paint them pink and purple and polka dots, if you want, the templates will allow you to do that. Now I'm still going to use the decal for the one on the tie and the one on his hat, but everything else I am going to make a painting template for. Plus, I think that they are a little too close together on this version of the build, as nice as it is. Using the reference that I've got from screen captures, it looks like they need to be a little bit further away. So that'll allow me to do them the way that I want to do them, because I'm selfish and want to do that. Do things the way I want to do them. So let's take it up as soon as things are drying, and we'll come back to it. Okay, I've just given the main portions of the Riddler a base coat of a dark green. This is going to be my undercoat, and then I'm going to use this the park green to bring up the highlights. But basically I've coated everything just a regular old green, and I'm going to let that dry and settle in, and like I said, that'll go into the recesses. And where are my arms? Where are my arms? My arms should be somewhere. I need to spray my arms. I have sprayed the arms. I just don't see where they are right now. A farewell to arms is what it was. It was a farewell to arms. I've got to go find them. There they are. They were there the whole time. They're drying over there. Okay, the dark green has had a chance to dry for a while, and now I'm going to lightly hit the high spots with a lighter green, try to bring out that contrast, and we will go on from there. Okay, here's the delicate balancing act. I've got all of these pieces of the Riddler costume painted. They're all the nice green that they're going to be. I want to put my template over it and paint the question marks in. Now, I want to get this done. I want to have it done in plenty of time. But the shorter amount of time that I wait, I mean, the sooner I put this on, the more the risk that this tape is going to pull up the paint underneath. I mean, you should let your paint dry before you use any sort of template. So here's my quandary, and that is, do I try it now and run the risk, or do I wait possibly too long and have it come out successful? I think what I'm going to do is let these sit and dry for at least an hour, maybe two. There's nothing wrong with letting them dry longer. That's the good side of it, and it may just mean it's going to be a late night. Okay, it's around 10 p.m. I've been letting this dry all evening and coming back and picking and doing little things with it, but I'm most notably working on the face and things like that. But I'm going to try at least one section of this before I turn in for the evening and see how that goes. And if it goes very well, then I may continue it. What I'm going to do is this nice flat back of the back of the suit jacket. And you have to think like a tailor in these circumstances. So if this were a actual garment, the piece of material that makes up the back would have seams at the shoulder, at the top of the shoulders, right there and right there, and it would be cut down the side, right there and right there, and then the pattern would stop at those places. So what I'm going to do is take some tape and tape off those areas, and then put the template down over it and see how well it fits. Okay, essentially here is the area that would be marked out by one, if that were one piece of fabric. So what I'm going to do is take this large pattern, center it over that, and get ready to paint some question marks through that. Now I need to come up with the color that I'm going to use, and it's going to be very much like the color of the bowler hat, which is mostly NATO black with some green put in for good measure. So actually make it dark greenish gray. Okay, I have not only put the template down and sprayed through it. Now I'm ready to remove it and see what I have what I have wrought. And you got one more there I got to spray. I'm trying to do very minimal spraying so as to not have any overspray where I don't really need it. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The first piece of the painted on question marks. Not a single bit of carrier film. All of my question marks are in a pattern that is evenly spaced because it was done by robots, and I don't have to worry about the decal sliding around or being out of place or yellowing or not being evenly spaced. This proof is the proof of concept. I am going to, I think I'm going to rest on these laurels and get to bed early tonight and get up early tomorrow and finish the rest of this up. But I now know that the concept works. Hallelujah. We're entering what the hell territory. So what the hell, it's only a few more minutes. I went ahead and did the rest of the jacket. So we know that the principle works. And once I put a coat of clear on that, that'll really pop that color just a little bit more. But I think that's the more subtle look, if you can believe that for a character like the Riddler, a subtle look that doesn't use the decals. But that was just a mix of the deep green and black, or a NATO black, for the question marks. And I got all of the whole jacket done with one piece of template. Laid it out on the back. I cut some darts into it to make it conform, and then make sure I cover up see, I cut darts into the side to make it conform to the side of the jacket, and then covered those up with tape so that I wouldn't get any overspray through there. And then basically I just cut it up and used it on the front, and then cut out individual ones. Now I'm going to give you in the templates that will have smaller individual ones for that, but I figured while I had it out, I just wanted to see how much use I could get out of one piece. And I was able to tape off the lapels and tape off this area and spray this whole side, then tape off the lapel and this area and spray that whole side. But the secret is in getting it lined up and then just let the pattern fall where it may. Now the only ones I put down on purpose are the ones that are on the lapel. Everything else is just, this is where the pattern lays it. Okay, for the sake of posterity, it is 9 a.m. and I am done with the body of the Riddler. I got to put the tie on and some of the details, but I have painted all of the question marks using the question mark pattern and laid them all down on there. And at first I was worried the contrast was not enough, but I think it's just right. I think if they were any darker, I think really the suit might want to be a little bit lighter. But I think it says what it needs to say. And I think the pattern here is a little less than what's on the box. I think it's they're spaced a little bit further apart, and I think I like it a little better. Probably more in line with the actual costume from the screen caps that I've seen. So now let me get the accoutrements on and the head attached, and we'll be ready to box this up. Well, it is a little bit after 12:30 on Wednesday, and I wanted to show you a completed Riddler. Got the optional hand down onto base so that I can swap that out because it's a magnet like everything else. And But I've got to get this guy going. I've got templates to package up to take to Steve. I've got the rest of my packing to go. So see you in Kentucky. Well, it's been quite the whirlwind day of getting the Riddler done, but I've managed to get it done, get it built, get it painted, get the templates made for it, get the instructions written for the templates, get the packaging all done. Pardon the light block coming in here. So everything is going at a breakneck pace. So I will see you in Louisville. If you see me, stop me, punch me in the face if you have to, but say hello. And I will let you, your next report will be a bit of a Wonderfest wrap-up. So until then, be good to each other, and keep modeling out there. Bye.